Hello and welcome to my playthrough of Loop Hero, starting here on YouTube. If you haven't heard of this game, or you don't know what it's all about, well, one, I'm very surprised that you're watching it on my channel of all channels, but I'm not complaining. I don't want to waste too much time before we get into it, but a brief explanation. It's a dungeon crawler, auto-battler, roguelite game, that's a lot of buzzwords, in which your character automatically walks around this loop and fights monsters, and as you do so, you get tiles that you can place down to make the run harder, more challenging for you, but that will also give you better loot to better cope with that challenge. So you progressively build up a harder and harder board until eventually you fight a boss at the end of the chapter, and if you've looted up well enough, you defeat the boss and you get to carry on with the game. If not, then you die and you go back to the beginning. There's some persistent upgrade elements to it, but it is kind of that roguelite, so if you don't succeed, you go back to the beginning and you start again. It also has a really fantastic and interesting story from what I've played so far, some really interesting writing that this might seem quite pretentious, but I would liken it almost to Dante's Inferno. You've got this sort of philosophical musings on the nature of reality and stuff like that, so it's really interesting to get into. I did stream some of this yesterday actually, but I wanted to make a YouTube series of it because as a streamer I am quite an interactive streamer with my chat, and I think that was getting in the way of the gameplay, so I'd like a full run through on YouTube. Let's not waste any more time, let's get into it, because we have some story to start with and I can talk a little bit more later. Also some beautiful pixel art. The stars in the sky are going out one by one, but no one notices it. No one can stop it. I am racing to the last place where there is still hope. I need to make it before it is too late. Sounds of agony will quickly fade. The world will be destroyed. Even the memory of it will be gone. And even if there is absolutely no chance of bringing it all back, there will always be someone who is willing to do the impossible. In a place without space, without time, without memories. So I've skipped the tutorial because I understand how the game works. Okay, so we're going to start here building the campfire. Okay, makes sense. We've missed out on a little bit of the beginning of the game, which is unfortunate, but I'll fill you in. Basically, actually, I don't know, maybe we'll see when we go to the expedition. Can we change it? Oh, we can change our deck right from the start. That's good, because I do not like this road lantern. If you're not following what I mean by that, don't worry about it, it will make sense in time. I don't think I'm sold on the beacon either. I'd rather have a higher chance of getting the other things. Right, don't worry about that. Those are just some strategic options. This path, everything is wrong, but I remember. It looks like a completely different place, and it's empty again. Do my actions have any meaning? Like I have a choice. If I need to give up and cry to save the world, I am the worst savior of all. Let's do it. Oh, let me quickly hide my camera just for a second so you can see. This is our protagonist. This is who we are. Don't worry about that. The reason I put my face over here, normally I'd be over on the right, is that's where there'll be a lot of other people that we talk to as we play the game. And I didn't want to cover up their art because obviously it changes depending on who you talk to. There's a lot of different characters and the art's quite nice, so I thought you'd want to see it. So right now, our blue background even kind of fits in with our adventurer's armor here. Okay, let me fill you in quickly on the story. Well, as far as we know so far in the game, everything is gone. Everything is wiped out, apart from this loop seems to exist, this path, and as we build onto it, you know, in the tutorial you build onto it a little bit and you go through and you learn how the controls work. I already know how all that works, so I'm just saving us the bother. I imagine most people watching will be aware. And now we're just trying to piece together what's going on with the world. We know we can improve things a little bit as we go. We fight our first slime here. It's just like an automatic fight. And then we've got some loot here, spider cocoon. So if I drop this down over here, give that some time to spawn some spiders. And as we fight more and more monsters, we'll get more and more loot, more and more tiles. We'll build up this battle to be sort of progressively harder, but also we're going to get progressively more looted up. We've got a cemetery, which spawns a skeleton. Spawns a skeleton every 3 days. I'll put it right at the start then. Because just so that the next time we fight it, we've just had our HP back from the campfire. get some armor. Very nice. The early loot is the easiest, right? It's all good. I would like my blood path here. Well, this is a battlefield, but one of the great things about this game is that as you place tiles next to each other, they interact in different ways, especially tiles of the same type. So if you put two battlefields opposite each other, it turns the surrounding area into a blood path, which has a chance to spawn blood clots. But currently the battlefield spawns a chest at the start of each loop. So we're going to go around and we'll get a chest and that'll give us some nice loot. Now meadows, these are... I should read it for us. Because I streamed it yesterday, I know what's going on, but you, the audience, might not. It heals 2 HP at the start of each day. Now we're going to want to build our meadows around mountains and such, so I'm putting that right on the outskirts. Put another spider cocoon there. We'll fight many spiders at once. Possibly. Yeah, I think we will, because I think time is going to pass. By the time we get there, it'll be a new day. Treasury, this is excellent. So you put down a treasury, and then you build things around it. Once you completely build around it, the treasury pops open and gives you a bunch of loot. So very nice. Fighting 2 spiders, that's nice. We get a ring, which will pop on. And we get a shield, which will pop on, because it's better than that shield. I think it is, actually. I didn't actually compare the stats, but I know that this had more numbers, and more numbers is better. We're going to build a mountain over here. I guess it is in our best interest to build this treasury as soon as we can, but I want to build a mountain. I should say, when you put lots of mountain tiles together, it turns into this big peak that gives you a lot more stuff. So there's a sword that we can make use of, absolutely. Slightly better armor, and worse shield. We'll put meadows around here. Groves we shall put just before the campfire, and rocks we'll put around this as well. So beautiful stuff. Cemetery and rock. I think I could have done a better job of explaining some of this game's mechanics, but I think as you watch you'll just kind of pick it up. You'll also see that as we walk around we're picking up resources that go up here. If I after this fight so you can see here we have these small resources like branches. 12 pieces of stick form a beam of stable wood, so you need to build up these small resources to build into whole parts that you can then use. Like noticeable change. 20 changes form a complete metamorphosis. So as you build up these smaller components into bigger components, those are what you can use to upgrade your campsite, which is kind of like a base building game outside of this loop. That gives you permanent upgrades and allows you to progress through the story better. Anyway, I didn't check my loot, and that's probably frustrating people. We have a rock, and we have some more mountains to add. So yeah, you can see as we're putting tiles down, we're getting more of these components. Another meadow. Put that there. Get our treasury one step closer to being cracked open. Another rock. And as you can see, we're very early on in this loop right now, so we're not committing overly to any particular strategy. We're just trying to stay flexible, equip the best stuff that we get, build up our resources a little bit. So one more meadow will complete this treasury. That'd be lovely. It could be a rock. It could be a rock. Yeah, we'll crack this open. That's what's inside. It could be quite useful. Shield. And a ring that gives 2 magic damage, 2 damage to all, 3 defense, and 0.6 regen per sec. That's pretty good. We can start to put the meadows outside of that. I'm just going to build a really big grove over here. I'm not particularly sure why. Okay, we've got a ring that's worse and a sword that's the same. I like damage to all, because when you build these big spider cocoons and you're fighting a bunch of enemies, if you've got a lot of damage to all items, then obviously you can... Oh, I probably should not be putting a cemetery there actually, because this allows the things that spawn there to turn into ghosts, and ghosts are actually pretty scary. Spooky, scary ghosts. Oh, that's a damage to all ring, but our current one's just strictly better, so never mind. Vampire mansions. Now, here's an interesting one. I will put this on the grove. This adds a vampire to battles on adjacent tiles. Vampires are relatively strong. They have vampirism, meaning that they heal when they deal damage, and they also give it to the other people that you're fighting. And we have a little interaction here, so you can see why I left this area of the screen blank. Back off, human! A vampire! Where are your lands? If your farmers need help, I would be glad to offer it. No more lands, no more flock, only hundreds of years of emptiness. And hundreds of years of hunger! Save yourself while you still can. I don't know how long I will be able to keep my head straight. What hundreds of years are you talking about? Your mind is easy to trick, but you can't trick my hunger. It demands its share. Every sip, every drop of blood will go to satiate it. I'm too weak, but you can help me and I will set this crumbled world right. Right! I'm doing this not for just myself, but for everyone. In the name of good. So be grateful for my hard work and just let me bleed you dry. Just double checking that our loot wasn't any better. So yeah, you can see some interesting themes coming out of this story. This idea of that's just a strictly better weapon. It seems like multiple people kind of have this idea of restoring the world to its former glory, but going about it in different ways. We'll interact with some more of that in a bit. Vampires often owned our lands. They kept the peace and helped our settlements to prosper, but this won't do it all. Now they are just pale shadows of their former selves, both physically and mentally. Apparently the blood of other creatures can't sustain them. He wasn't joking about the hunger. Even the creatures that stand near him are imbued with the power to devour someone else's life. It's a little mechanics explanation for you there. So yeah, I'm going to put another battlefield there. So that hasn't actually made a blood path. Because they're not. The areas don't overlap. Ooh, a polearm gives us more damage and some defense. But the spear gives us some defense also, and the vampirism is just a big deal, I think. We can start putting these mountains and rocks down, because this is going to build into a peak. You'll understand. And I think for this series I'll basically have like one full run through of a loop as one episode. We'll continue on in that regard, probably until we've finished the game, because I mean I'm super enjoying it and I want this to be a full series on my channel. So another explanation, up here we have the map completion bar. When it's filled, the boss will appear, so really you want to have gotten a lot of loot in this time so that you have a higher chance of defeating the boss. Now I know about the bosses of chapter 1, I've beaten that, and I've encountered the boss of chapter 2, but that's as far as my knowledge goes. After that point it's all, you know, I'm going to be in the same boat as you if you're new to the game. So we'll discover and learn together. Some more loot from this chest. Don't think this is what we're after. This shield seems good though. I missed the damage to all, but you know, it's 50% more defense. The counter chance I'm not too fussed about, to be honest, but that extra defense seems very good. Now I'm willing to drop my defense by 1 to get that damage to all and the regen. And let's check out this tower shield here. So more defense, but attack speed and counter. No, that doesn't seem like a big enough improvement for me. Oh, we've also got this, which gives us damage to all and defense and evasion. I think that seems better than the extra HP actually, even though that's literally reducing our HP because we're at max. Doing quite well. We need to make the game harder for ourselves, but it's just not giving us the tiles we need to be able to do that. Oh, you will see there actually, as I just put down this mountain tile, it spawned a goblin camp here. Goblins are quite scary. I have a mountain now, so this will transform this into a peak. You can see it transforms into this, gives us a bunch of resources. This gives us 120 HP and 5 additional HP for every adjacent mountain or rock tile, and it spawns a harpy every 2 days. I don't actually know if putting the meadows around the mountain peak like this is the right play, because we get more HP if we put more mountains and rocks on it, but I guess there's a limit to what you can do, right? 4 damage to all? How much? We have 5 damage to all currently. That doesn't seem like a terrible place to be at. So I don't think I'm going to go for that ring just yet. Another rock. So maybe I should practice what I preach and add rocks to this mountain peak. Maybe I should stockpile it in case I find another treasury. Here's an Oblivion. Oblivion erases a tile. Now one thing I learned that you can do just today actually, I read this in a comment, is that you can Oblivion one of the pieces of your mountain peak and then add in a rock again, and then you'll have a new mountain. Like it'll build the mountain again. So you get all the loot again, which is pretty cool. Can't imagine that ring was where we wanted to be. Another vampire mansion. I wonder what happens if you put 2 vampire mansions directly together. Anything or nothing? I don't know, there's a lot of just stuff to learn about this game. And I'm willing to go through the process of learning it. Another vampire mansion. Well, maybe what you need is... Maybe you need like 3 vampire mansions. That, or I'm just making it hell over there. Oh, that this looks scary. This is gonna have like 2 vampires as well. I'll try and do a goblin voice. Stop! Where did these goblins come from? I don't remember remembering you. We remembered ourselves. Now give us all you've got. You have no idea what's going on, right? Why don't you help me restore order in this world first, and then you can do anything you want. Goblin must rob. No other order in the world. Fair enough. Guess I don't have any valid objection here. Oh, wait, I do have one. How about... And then we're going to presumably attack them. God, these goblins are kind of scary. However, we're coping with it very well. That's a lot more defense. That's almost twice as much defense, but we miss out on our damage to all and our regen per sec. I'm not interested just yet. If I was fighting one big nasty, I think I would want that shield. Because the damage to all is not as relevant there. 2 damage to all and 16% attack speed. Nah. I think we've got better than that currently. It's strange how these creatures appeared here on their own. Maybe it means everything is actually not so bad, and that the world is trying to restore itself. Or that even the apocalypse isn't enough to get rid of some pests. Yeah, this shield's not what we want. But we can put down this meadow. I'm just not sure what to do with this rock and mountain. I'm going to stockpile it until we get a treasury. The extra like 7 HP or 9 HP is not that big of a deal. We can use it to try and pop a treasury as soon as we get one. 5 damage to all. We lose out on some vampirism. We lose out on all our vampirism. Hopefully we'll get it from elsewhere though, because this deals more damage and the damage to all is really good. So I'm fine with that. Also, we don't massively need the vampirism right now. That's another thing. What's this armor like then? Defense, attack. So, very similar except it gives more HP. We lose the damage to all in order to get 4% attack speed. I'm not sold. Spider cocoon. Yeah, I'll gladly build another spider cocoon. You can see the music ramping up as the game gets a bit more intense. Oh, what's the shield? 11 defense, 12% counter. I think this is worthwhile. Just based on the fact it has more defense, and the damage to all is not that huge when we get 5 from the mace. Continue to put meadows around this. Magic damage 7. I need to learn more about magic damage. I don't know if this just like gives all of your attacks a magic damage or if it boosts the effect of magic. And I don't know what magic is yet. Counter, regen, evasion. I don't think so. I don't think that's what we're after here. Ooh, not dirk. You also see like there's different sort of types of weapons, like your dirk and your mace, and they kind of have like the loot is somewhat random, but every time you get it, if it's like a dirk, it's going to have some evasion. If it's a mace, it's going to have some damage to all. Gladiuses are just like straight up damage. I think broken longswords give regen generally. 4% attack speed, 1.2% regen per second, and 8% vampirism. So we lose out on our 2 damage to all. The vampirism there is pretty good. Because then you start ending up in fights where you're just gaining HP from every hit. This polearm gives us defense and deals a bit more damage, but the damage to all seems better. 7% evasion. I guess evasion's quite good. I'm really trying to make like a vampire duchy over here, but I don't know if that's a thing that exists. You also see we're just not putting down these. I guess if I did put down the mountains, one thing that would happen is we'd get more goblin camps, which is arguably something we want because we need this loop to be harder right now. That would be worth considering. Yeah, I'm gonna just extend this mountain now. There we go. Yeah, that's giving us another goblin camp, so it's just more things to fight. Try and get a bit stronger. Obviously, if we now get a treasury, it's going to feel like a very silly thing. But we didn't. We got an oblivion and a grove. I can't wait to hit all these spiders without damage to all. Meadow. I'll continue to put that around here. Cemetery. You know what? I don't know if there's like a reward for building a really long cemetery that's all connected together or what, but we'll find out. Experimentation. That's a axe. More damage, but no damage to all. Ah, we fight our first harpy. What should our voice for a harpy be? Kind of like a screechy sort of. No! What do you mean no? You want to save the world. That sounds incredibly mocking. You want to save the world. You want to ask for help. Our answer is no. How did you... But why no? We see far away. We see deep inside. For a long time there has been just emptiness instead of the sky. But it doesn't stop us from seeing... I need to change the voice. Your saving of the world is one-sided and naive. Each person sees their own way of saving the world. That's why no one will ever join you. Fine, I don't fully understand it, but tell me your version. What does to save the world mean to you? My progeny and my kin. For them to be strong and to live. It's a part of the cycle of life and death. It is life itself. It is the world. I will kill you and feed your remains to my starving younglings, and life will go on. And how many lives does your blade give birth to by killing again and again? Only one. I don't want you or your children to die from starvation. Please, try to see reason. If my mission succeeds, harpies can have all the sky and all the hunting grounds they need. I can't feed my children with your beautiful words. It's time to say goodbye. Let's hope harpies don't crop up too much throughout the campaign. Oh god, for your reason, for my throat. Bunch of meadows, bunch of rocks. I feel awful. By fixing one evil, I'm becoming a source of another. There's no home for harpies except the highest mountains, but there's no food there. I can't imagine how they managed to survive if their mountains were cut from reality. Just extend this mountain ever downwards. Whack some spiders. Look at them all get hit. It's beautiful. 10% vampirism? Nah. My vampire... I want to get into some fights up there before I start putting even more vampire mansions down, because it's getting a little bit ridiculous now. Another battlefield. I'll gladly put that down though. Shouldn't that... Oh, can things that are already... Like if it's already a cemetery, it can't be a blood path also? Is that perhaps the case? Also, I think I've got loot that I'm not checking out. Ah yes, when you get too much loot, your old loot falls off the screen and turns into resources, which is really nice actually. But worth explaining. Same with the tiles. I don't know if they turn into resources, but if you don't use them, if you get too many, your earlier ones will be destroyed. So like, you want to use these oblivions to help you out if you can. Like if you're in danger of running out of space, you can always do the oblivion the mountain trick. We've got rock. Just need a treasury. Ah, there's 2 treasuries. Perfect. Put one down there. I'll put one up here. Then we'll just try and bust one open. Ah, we can't quite get very close to doing that. Continue our cemetery. We're getting towards the end of our run, because we're getting, you know, this bar's filling up, but I don't feel quite strong enough yet. I guess we are doing relatively well, but I wouldn't say we're strong enough to fight a boss yet. See, that sword deals a lot more damage. This is a shield that gives vampirism, but is a little worse in every other way. Like, I guess one argument is if you never take damage, you don't need to heal it back up, right? So I think you'd rather have rocks on the edges where possible. I don't know, I'll just put anything down to get that sorted. More medals, more mans. Oh good, we can crack this open then. What makes it bloom? Just it being next to being next to a rock? Or is it being next to another tile? Okay. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff there. This seems good overall. This polearm seems... I do still really like our damage to all. However, I think we're just missing out on too much damage. Like, our average damage from that mace is 10. 20 to 30 just seems like a lot more, just more worthwhile. We'll go with that then. I'm running out of hand space a little bit here. Need to put down some of these. Oh, this is also level 5 sword. I thought our old sword was level 4. I was like, why is it worse? Okay, let's get these put down over here then. Rock, mountain. Build the grove out. Getting scarily close there. So when the boss does spawn, it will spawn at the campfire. So we have to go all the way around the loop again. That's quite nice because it means you've got more chance of getting more loot. Now, although every time you go around the loop, the enemies get stronger. That also means they drop better loot. So I think in some cases it's best to hold off. Oh wow, that's just so much more HP. I have to give up the damage to all. That's fine. We're just not doing damage to all anymore. Which is fine because this boss, they're like a sole target. They're by themselves, so you don't need damage to all to fight the boss. It's more just getting around the rest of the loop that we're worried about. But the best thing is to... Ooh. I mean, I'm willing to take a small hit to health for 7 damage to all. That seems incredibly good. Nope. Nope. I'll build the meadow around this though. So everything's going quite well. I keep looking over to the side because that's where my chat normally is when I was streaming yesterday, but chat won't help me now. That's more regen and more defense. Seems like a good upgrade. Oh, this is a mimic chest, which are quite brutal. Get a rapier, which deals more damage and gives us vampirism, so excellent. I think we can leave the scimitar alone. So the battlefield makes a chest at the start of each loop. The question is, are we going to come around the loop again? If we are, this is a fine place for it. If not, it's a bad place for it. Lovely. That was a lovely little fight. 17 defense? Or 20 defense, actually. I don't know. I need to know the maths on how defense works. If it just mitigates like that much damage, then this is quite good. I think 2.4 regeneration per second is quite a good option for us also. We healed more than we got dealt there, so that's good. That's lovely stuff. What's this ring? 16% counter. 1.2 regen per second. I think the vampirism is better here. We can put a rock here. Another bandit camp, just what you want to see. The goblins... Oh wait, sorry, was that a bandit camp or a goblin camp? Bandit camps don't spawn until we get villagers. What's this armor then? 413 HP and 6 defense. No, I'll take my evasion and my 7 damage roll. Especially when we're about to fight massive swarms of creatures. Spear, 14, 22, 16% counter. No, thank you. No, I don't want that armor. Not interested in that ring. I don't know if I want to put another spider cocoon down. I guess there's no harm in it. Well, there might be some harm in it. This shield seems really good. Vampirism, evasion, and the same amount of defense. We lose some regen, but everything else seems like gravy. Fight a slime. Should be easy. Yeah, we're rocking it on HP right now. No complaints there. Okay, I don't want to put down any more tiles unless it opens the treasury. So I think we're in, oh well, there we go. We're incredibly close to the boss spawning. Oh, I really thought it was going to happen there. That looks so full, doesn't it? No. 11 defense and 7 damage to all. Oh, this is difficult because I think this is better for right now as we plow through these spiders. So we're currently on 7 damage to all. But the evasion and the vampirism will be better for the boss. Vampirism's currently 24%. I think we can get through these spiders without too much incident, so let's not worry about it. Is my thinking. Let's make the boss spawn. Yeah, there we go. Cool little animation. Now we can use our oblivions. So this is the Lich, and the Lich is surrounded by a Lich's Palace. Every palace increases the Lich's HP and damage by 5%. We've held onto our oblivions, so we can just nuke these, just obliviate these out of here, and try and weaken the Lich as much as possible. Oh, I'm seeing now. You want to build around your campfire to stop these Lich's Palaces from spawning as well. There's a tip. More defense, but listen to that music go. This wants to be here, really. Yeah, let's build out the cemetery a bit more. Let's have another spider cocoon there. Why not? I think we're actually gaining. Yeah, we're gaining HP from these fights, so no complaints really. Or we're very close to net neutral. Either way. Let's put down more stuff. Very nice. Plow through some spiders into the vampire mansion. Do I dare just put them all down? I don't think so. I don't know. Would the vampire mansion work like with the Lich? Would a vampire just come and join him? Like, yo, dude, I'm here to help. Keep putting stuff down. The loot situation is not getting much better for us. I guess at some point, like if there was a higher level ring, I'd be more inclined. Currently we're getting like the same level rings, just giving different stats. And I think the mixture that we're getting from our current ring is kind of where we want to be. There's a level 5, so yeah, there's the broken longsword with the regen per second. But the vampirism on this sword is just really good. I'm going to put down a string of vampire mansions. In for a penny, in for a pound, right? I'll put one there. I don't really want to put one where the Lich is, because I don't actually want that fight to be stronger. Oh, it seems like overlapping vampire mansions don't actually have any effect. Unless this vampire is stronger? I'm not sure. Doesn't seem to have done anything. You might also be wondering like, oh, isn't it a shame that we're killing all these monsters and we're not getting any experience points or anything like that? That will come. We have to unlock that feature first though. Which we will probably do after this loop. It seems like we're strong enough to fight the Lich, to be honest. Like, we're doing really well here. We've got a really high pool of HP as well. build this grove all the way back. Just rolling in loot that we don't want. That's alright, it's all turned into resources. There is a limit on how many resources we can hold. I'm not sure how many it is. I think it might be like 30 full components, but seems like we're only going to barely be in danger of breaching that, so. But I still have a 7 damage to all. Nice. This tower shield. That's good. Again, I don't know if we want a lot of defense or if we want more vampirism for our fight. Obviously both are arguable. Ooh. This is like what we've got, but just better in every way. Incredible. It's a minor improvement, but it's an improvement nonetheless. Nope. I guess I ought to put the meadow down really. Okay. Also notice that time does pass during fights. This is going to be really important for our boss fight, because if it goes on for long enough, we will get the heal from all of our meadows. Oh, what's that? Nah. Our current just does more damage. I'm just trying to find rocks and stuff to put these meadows around so that they bloom. Give us 3 HP per day. Lovely. All's going well so far. It's a lot more HP, but no, I think we're good. The music's getting me though. 5 damage to all is not very good because we're about to fight the boss. Here we go. How is this even possible? That's right. You didn't devour me like the rest of the world. Haven't I? Don't you really think so? What are you talking about? I'm standing right in front of you. I consumed all of your reality. Every one of its elements now rests in a separate pocket dimension. Spaces, living beings, information, even memories. They shall remain there until entropy does its work, turning everything into a uniform, static mass. Along with you, of course. You're insane. So, what do we have here? I see. You found a way to interact with other pieces of your reality, to organize, combine, and merge them. But how? I don't see any exceptional talent or knowledge in you. You hardly even understand what is happening, right? I think this is a metaphor for, you know, collectivization, get together, achieve great things. I'll tell you what's happening. A pile of bones is butchering my world and thinks that it can get away with it. You're already doomed and you know it. Perhaps you're just the first in a series of systematic errors, a problem I must learn to solve. Let's not waste any time then. I don't think you're capable of feeling regret, but I'm about to change that. Okay. Oh, we'll just stop the... Oh, stop the fight! Why won't the fight stop? Okay. Do we want to change out any of our loot is the question here. So the damage to all is no longer very relevant, but the evasion and the regen, that's still useful. Attack speed and vampirism, they're all good. Regen per second, evasion, vampirism, I think that's better than the 4 extra. It's like, I could just take more max health, but I don't think that's going to help. This shield is tempting, because like that's a jump from 20 defense to 23. We do lose out on 9%, so 1 in every 10 hits missing, and getting back almost 1/10 of the damage we deal, so I think that's fine. I think we're possibly just in the strongest, we've already got the strongest build we could have. Things are going generally okay for us. Oh, we are taking a lot of damage though. Researcher, health and damage increased by 5% for every religious pass at the start of the battle. So he's doing a bit more damage. He's got 370 left. We're dealing, well, when he doesn't evade, we're dealing like 51 per hit. So we need 6 more hits. I think he needs about 6 more hits on us. We're evading. Oh, we've got this one in the bag. Very nice. Yes, yes. We have defeated the Lich. Nonsense. This is impossible. For so many reasons. I don't understand. Now put everything back like it was before. I can't. I've already completed my task, even if the result is not perfect. You're in no position to refuse, you sack of bones. He's already received everything I could gather. I just wanted to see how our crusade against the universe would end, to witness what would come of it. My presence is no longer required. Who is he? I get it. You're connected somehow, right? That's why. You'll find out soon enough. This anomaly will not escape his attention. Now my explanations would be meaningless to you. So spare me your wheezing and just die. If that sack of bones was telling the truth, I have a long journey ahead. I'll build my whole world from scratch if I have to, and the skull of that monster will be the first brick in its foundation. So we get a bunch of loot. We get some cool resources. The boss has been defeated, but your journey doesn't have to end. You can retreat to the camp with all your findings, but remember the world will forget all your deals. The world will forget all your deeds even. It always forgets. Now, I read here, you can see here, you get the Lich's skull. I think it's this orb of immortality. Usually death is unstable. This orb makes it stably non-existent for a few seconds. That is usually enough to avoid this gruesome fate. So I think this means that, so normally if you would die during your adventure, you lose everything that you've got. I think this means that we can safely die without us losing out any of our loot. Of course, we have almost hit, I think we've maybe hit the max of what we can achieve here. But I just want to continue the loop just for a little bit. Let's see what happens. So I think we've got some really interesting loot here. This is just better than what we've currently got. That's questionable. Okay, let's just fight a few things. Let's see, like, has the challenge ramped up now that the boss is dead? Is it still worthwhile for us to be here? Can we get more stuff? Tower shield. Nope. I mean, this is level 8, so it's hard to say that it's not good, but the counter and the evasion is just not as good as the vampirism, and the damage is like 1 more on average. It's not really what you want to see. I'm willing to accept that I might have gotten the maths wrong there. I'll build out a mountain this way, I guess. Oh no, we're carrying more stuff. There's a limit to how much we can carry though, isn't there? I just don't know how to find it out. Seem to be taking a little bit more of a beating from these monsters. But not to worry, we're about to hit a bunch of chests. Yeah, they do seem harder, I think. I guess maybe just because the loop level has gone up, to be fair. Level 7 armor? 551 2 damage to all? No. I sleep. Oh, he's a ghost. They attack really fast and they deal quite a lot of damage. Oh. I think that just... Our stable wood just turned into another... Like, I think that's the sound that it makes when your loot comes together as a larger piece of loot. I don't know, I'm not as committed to this run anymore. We've beaten the boss, right? So it's quite exciting to go back. Even if we kind of get some free exploration going on now. I don't know, we'll keep hitting things, see what happens. Worst case scenario, we die and that's the end of the run anyway, I think. I guess the real worst case scenario is that we waste our time, but yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily worried about that. Damage to all 11, that is so tempting. Now vampirism is 28% already. This is giving 10% of it though. We'll finish this fight. Yeah, we've got some big swarms coming up. Let's go damage to all 11. Sounds very fun. And also, like, you know, when you're attacking a big group, you get the vampirism from all the damage to all, I believe. 15 defense, 15% vampirism, but we lose out on a bunch of other stats, so I don't think that's worthwhile. This rapier is arguably worth, I mean, damage to all. You know, if we're on the damage to all plan, more vampirism as well. That's tempting. Yep. No. We'll leave that one. I'll put like another battlefield here, I guess. Continue the cemetery even further. put another spider cocoon down. I think you can only have 4 units on a tile. 5 damage to all, 12% vampirism. Oh, why do you have to do me like this? I think that's just better. Even though like we basically just made that trade in the other direction. I mean 5 damage to all is still quite a good amount. This map is getting messy. Maybe the limit is 40 of things that we can hold. It's a lot more max HP, but I want the other stats as well. Oh, what's that? Counter 20%? No, it's okay. 12% attack speed, 11% vampirism. No, still not quite tempted. I don't feel the challenge in the same way anymore. It's like now I've just got to face off against these mobs. And the one that kills me won't be like a particularly strong one, it'll just be the straw that breaks the camel's back, you know? 4 damage to all, 13% vampirism? No. I don't think that's the direction we want those numbers to go in. Okay. Almost. Getting there. I mean, like, we're getting more stuff. There must be a purpose to doing this. It is quite fun to fight large swathes of enemies as well. I'll give it that. I'll give it that for sure. That's more vampirism, less defense, less other stats as well. More HP, 2 damage to all, and 11% vampirism. Yeah, let's go. Our vampirism is now at 45%. We gain back almost half of all the damage we deal. Absolutely lovely stuff. Where do you put the stuff, you know? Spider cocoon, yeah, sure. Just does it seem like we're not gaining many more resources now? Maybe we have peaked. Yeah, so even when we're like gaining more loot when it's falling off the edge of the screen, the resource count is not going up. So we must have maxed out. So actually after this fight, let's just leave. Because we're not gaining anything. We are just wasting our time now. Yeah. What? I'll lose. Stay then. Like, I guess you have to get back around to the beginning of the loop. Or we die. Like, either is fine. My mistake. I think it must have gone above because we got, like, loots as rewards for killing the boss. And I didn't want to, like, take that away from us. Didn't want to nullify that, that reward. But yeah, like, that's just not doing anything, so. Let's just get through it. I think we will get through it as well. If there was still anything to discover or explore, like, I'm going to keep building these cemeteries and groves because I think it's funny mostly, but I guess I'm also making the journey back longer. Maybe I ought to stop that. Yeah, let's just get back. I'll stop putting things down now. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll just prove that this works. Wow, and you get all those again? Oh, it made a new mountain here. Interesting. Yeah, but that's just not doing anything. It's not worth it to keep harping on that then. Let's just get back to the end of the loop and wrap up this episode, because it's gone on for quite a while now. Not that I have a problem with it, it's been very fun. 29 to 43. Lose out on some vampirism, but that's like almost doubling the damage, right? Which if you double your damage and reduce your vampirism by half, that's still better because you're killing things quicker and you're gaining the same amount of HP. Yeah, just keep walking, friend. Vampires might have the capability to do me in. Or maybe just not, to be honest, I don't know. I mean, could we arguably just, because I'm not 100% convinced on the fact that if we die we get to keep all our loot. It's what I read, but You shouldn't always trust YouTube comments. 28 defense, that seems pretty bold. It would be interesting to do like a run where we just try and maximize our defense. Oh, what's that? What are these? Memory fragments. Oh, okay, so these are like a new piece of loot I hadn't noticed before. And you get them by having your tiles run off the screen. Oh, so that's actually a benefit to us. How interesting. So yeah, we can stock up on these. I wonder, I was only going to let us have 6 of them. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it'll let us have more. How many will it let us have? 9. Oh, here's the... Yeah, there's the Orb of Immortality. Oh, and that's turned into a book. Only real facts and many truths, but only about one thing and one time. Okay, well it's really good that we've made this actually. This is something I've discovered. I had no idea about it. Oh, we are actually getting in danger here. But I almost don't care, because it will end the run quicker. You know what? I should probably try and open a treasury. I kind of want the HP. I can't tell if this is actually increasing the numbers on things at all, but there we go. I think maybe just because we lost out on our damage to all, or is it because the rat wolves are harder than the other things that we've been fighting mostly? I think we'll be fine. I think we'll make it back to the beginning of the loop and then we'll be able to run away. Level 8 ring, 4.8 regen per second. Interesting. Oh, it's a difficult fight. As you remove things, it gets easier. Oh, they're evading. Health's going down. Yeah, we're too strong. Too strong for everything. Okay. There we go. Now we can run away. Retreat. We keep all of our resources. Lovely. That was surprisingly easy. Now I only have to remember where my home is, extinguish this campfire, and... Survivors? I can't believe it. Hey everyone, the boy is back. And I'm not just back. I stopped the curse that was spreading the darkness. I don't know what you're talking about. This campfire is the only thing that's not covered by a veil of darkness for days and days. We barely made it here, and we forgot many friends and many parts of ourselves along the way. My name is Yota. That's the part I still remember. We saw that you left the camp and were able to remember it. That's why we're so surprised by your return. Maybe we should team up and start helping each other. I'm really just asking to be polite. We are too exhausted to leave. The skeleton mentioned him. Whoever he is, he must have something to do with the world's oblivion. It seems that I have no other option but to continue my expeditions. And that's... oh, never mind. A little bit more story. We weren't joking about helping you. Here are the few things that survive the cataclysm and don't vanish away. Can't be forgotten. Take them. You might need them. Give us a bit of loot. Although it's nothing compared to what we already had. Right. We'll kick off the next episode by starting to build using all this loot that we've just gotten, which is really an incredible run. And we'll probably move on to chapter 2 and see what we can do then. So thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, then you might want to leave a like and a comment, because those help me out. You might want to subscribe, because then you get to see more videos in the future, which just sounds like it'd be in your interest if you've watched the video all the way till the end. So thank you very much for watching. This has been me with some Loop Hero, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.